Welcome, everybody, to the Altadena Talks, episode 220. We are here with the Toni Talks segment of the show. I'm Jamal Smith. Brian is in the background. He'll be showing up a little bit later. I'm going to pop off right now and let Toni take over.
Hey everyone, happy Tuesday and welcome. This is episode 220 and we're happy to see you here. And I have a special guest with us today, Mr. Alfred Hammond, that I wanted to interview. We've been trying to connect and get you on the show since I think June, right around Juneteenth. And we've seen each other at several times at several events or whatever, and I'm like, when you coming on? And then you went overseas, and so now you're back, and I'm really happy to have you on. So Alfred, I'm going to ask you just a couple questions, but as I was saying to you, we try to do this really organically, and as we continue to talk and have dialogue, if questions come in, they will. But I want you to tell everyone who you are and your connection to Altadena first and foremost, and your experience with the fire. And then we'll get into some of the photos you have taken since the fire and all kinds of amazing things you've been doing. So tell us a little bit about Alfred Hammond.
Okay. Wow. Hello, everybody. My name is Alfred Haymond.
Haymond, I'm sorry.
That's totally fine. Everybody does that, really. So you're not the first. I am originally from Los Angeles and have been in the San Gabriel Valley since maybe 1990. And my wife and I actually moved up to Altadena in 97 to have a home for our family. So my connections start there. I really had no idea of where Altadena was. Coming from Los Angeles, I thought Pasadena. I thought all of this was just Pasadena. So it was like really a real treat to like find that there was this unincorporated section, and the vibe for me was just really different. We had looked at a number of homes that year, and when our realtor had suggested that we come check out something that was up in Altadena, I was thinking like, this is just another something, like another kind of waste of time thing, because we had seen so many houses or the process of home buying for first time buyers. Yeah. My wife and I were like still in our 20s, and all of this was just so new to us. And he was like, well, why don't you just come check this out? And, I know I've been showing you guys a lot of properties, but just come check this out. I think you'll really like it. Mm-hmm. So I didn't want to do it, but I did. And the first thing that really struck me was just how serene it was. Mm-hmm. Tree-lined streets and just quiet, and you had the foothills in the background, and everything was just lush and green. And coming from LA, growing up in South Central, you have anything but that. You have helicopters, police sirens, ambulances, people arguing next door, and just everything. That. So for me, it was such a departure. And it wasn't a ginormous house, but I just really dug the vibe there. And I was like, wow, I really like this. I mean, whatever we can do to get up here, I really want this. And my wife, she had been on my case because our son was only a few months old and our apartment was cramped. And she's like, can you find us something? Can you, can you make, I would love to be in a house before Christmas, and that was like kind of my charge. And it was like, well, yes, dear, kind of thing.
And you made it happen.
Yeah, and we were in our house before Christmas, and that was like, for me, that was like really special. Like
Yeah.
that's one thing that I'll always remember, like having that Christmas. We didn't have too much furniture in the house, but it was ours. Like, like we did this, like, me and you, we did this together.
Yeah.
That was, and, you know, just being in your 20s. And I look at it now, 2025, for our young people that are in their 20s,
Yeah.
that
It's tough.
dream just seems so, you know, far off now,
Yeah. So out of reach almost.
out of reach. Exactly. Uh,
Well, I think what I heard you say, besides it being your charge to go and get this house because your son was a few months old, was about our beautiful town, our beautiful community. It is
mhm.
such a wonderfully hidden little gem in the foothills.
It is.
People don't know. And people do always go, "Oh, you're from Pasadena." And some people go, "Yeah," because they don't want to explain. And I go, "No, I'm from Altadena." Right.
Uh,
And then people will say, "Well, where's Altadena?" And I tell them above Pasadena. Right.
mhm.
And then I say, if you were to come visit, gave you our address and you were to come visit, you wouldn't know when you cross from Pasadena to Altadena, because
Right.
there's nothing that's like, "Hey, welcome." There is a little sign over there, but people aren't going to really see that.
Mhm.
So, but people love it. And the fact that we're so diverse in housing, the way our houses look, and we're culturally diverse and very eclectic, and just a community that really cares for and loves one another. And I think that once somebody becomes an Altadenian, they find that to be true, and they're like, "Oh, this is the best place." And they sometimes tell friends, and friends coming by. But but yeah, it's a great place with lots of legacy, with generational homes that are passed down with 3, 4, 5 generation in. And so it's really, really nice to just have our little town nestled,
Right.
amongst the hills. We get sunshine and heat, we get rain, we get snow every now and then. And yes, we have these wildfires, and this by
Fires.
far was the
Mhm.
worst and the most devastating, because if we've ever had to evacuate, it was a quick minute and you're right back. So that's part of why this was so bad, because no one ever thought that we had to leave and would not be coming back home, right?
Mhm.
Um, so it's just been devastating, but I know how resilient we are. And just to see how people are coming together to support one another has
Mhm.
been incredible. And so super happy to see that and see where we go from here as a town. So I'm super excited that you're here. So you lived in Altadena now 28 years. Where
Yeah.
was your home?
We were over on Mount Curve, so that's east of Lake, above Altadena Drive.
Yeah, I know where Mount Curve is because I grew up on Wapello and Mount Curve. So right
That's
up the street from you somewhere. Yeah. Well, good. Condolences. Of course, we're sorry you lost your home as well. Whew, this has been a year, hasn't it, for everyone? But I'm super glad you're here. So
Mhm.
one of the things that really struck me was your incredible photography and the black and white. And I met you at the Juneteenth lunch that was at the gym at Lomalta Park.
Right,
And I
right.
was just like, "Oh my God, these photos, like the way you captured the pain, but the beauty at the same time in that pain, and just the essence of Altadenians was incredible."
Yeah.
And then, actually, no, that's the second time we met. We met before, and you wanted to take some pictures of my aunt. And then we never reconnected. And then I saw you up at Lomalta, and I was like,
Uh,
"Hey, you're the one that wanted to do the Black History thing," and all of that.
yeah.
So now you've had an opportunity to take some pictures of her at her street naming recently, and then went to her house afterwards and took some. And I know you're going to be doing some more, more in
Oh,
depth.
yes.
But I would love to speak to some of the photos that you've taken and that you shared with us today. I
Mhm.
know that I sent them over to Jamal. And Jamal, are you able to pull any of those up yet? Also, Alfred,
Quickly, where'd you send them? Sorry.
your Gmail.
Okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm. He was on here early getting the show together. Although, because normally Jamal would have already had them up ready and all that. So he didn't see that because he was trying to make sure we started on time. Because, Alfred, you don't know this, but I am a stickler for time. I believe that on time is late. Early is on time is late. And so I tend to...
You're really trying to call me out because I was late. I'm the one that puts on the show and sets it up. So, yes, I'll take that blame.
I'll say as a creative spirit, we're notorious procrastinators. Like I mean, so I'm sure if me and you had something to do together, if we were putting something together, it would just be like, I mean, it would
drive me up the wall.
Yes, it would probably be because my brain doesn't fire to the last minute, and that's kind of for myself. I think that's when I do my best work is when I'm kind of under the gun.
Mm-hmm.
But some people are just wired like that, and it doesn't make you a bad person. It's just a thing, like you kind of operate out of that's the box that you operate out of. So
and yes, I wasn't calling anyone out, so that pop in did not make me happy. But me, and that's why I said me, even prior to me going in the military, but also having been in the military and served, early is on time is late. And
I did my time in the service too, so I'm a vet.
So how did you manage that, Alfred?
And I stayed in trouble constantly.
Yes, you did.
It was like, oh, here comes Haymond. Or, sometimes I would show up with the heavy 5 o'clock shadow, knowing
better.
You're supposed to be squared away. And I'm thinking that younger version of myself was so contrary to structure.
Yeah.
You're
creative.
Even if I knew better, even if I knew what the consequences were, it was just like, I gotta be me. And it was just like, oh, I'm gonna catch hell, but it was like, all right.
And you knew you were. You know what? That's so funny though.
Sorry, Tony. Had to ask for access to the phone.
Okay, let me. I think all I have to do is just click on
It'll probably show up in your email asking you, saying that Jamal Smith asked for access.
Yes, and then I just clicked on share, so he has access now. Okay.
Thank you. So, and the funny part with that is, like, I've always been disciplined, right? So I was never in trouble for being late because I'm always early because my dad was that way and my mom, like, get up, do your thing. So I'm always like on time. And for real, it gets under my skin if we're getting close to the time of anything for me. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Like we were talking before the show and you said you're displaced in Los Angeles now and the traffic, as you know, might take you an hour plus. And so for you, your wife has said, get it together, leave earlier or whatever. So it makes total sense to me now that you said this is who you are and your brain is wired differently. And for you, on time is not something that you're thinking about necessarily, right? Where me, it so drives me up the wall and it's not on time, right? And that's just who I am. So everybody is so different. So in that vein, how is it that when it was time to evacuate, how did you deal with that and handle that once you heard that, oh, we probably need to evacuate?
Wow. I got a call from a friend in Altadena who's also a photographer, and she called me maybe about 5:30 that afternoon.
On
And
the 7th?
yes, on the 7th. And,
Mm-hmm.
do you know there's a fire going on in Eden Canyon? And I mean, all of us, we've seen these fires every year because when those strong winds blow in the fall, or
Mm-hmm. The
during
Santa
the
Ana.
summer, when it's dry, you're always going to have some type of brush fire. So, you know, it was, for me, it was just kind of old hat, like, oh yeah, so yeah, there's a
Here
fire
we
going
go.
on in Eden
Right.
Canyon. And she was like, no, Alfred, this looks pretty serious.
Yes, it's
And
different.
she's not the type to call me, out of the blue, just to, just to talk. So I knew when I got a phone call from her, and just the tone of her voice, it was like, okay, maybe I need to really like take this to heart, because she wouldn't just be calling, just, you know,
Just a call.
calling.
Yeah.
So what I did at that time is that and I wasn't in panic mode, because I figured, we've gone through this before, and I'm thinking like the worst that I've ever had was like a few years ago, some years ago, where one of the utility stations had blown, and
Mm-hmm.
power was out in Altadena for a few days, and the food spoiled,
Yep.
all the stuff in the freezer went bad, the stuff in the refrigerator went bad.
Yep.
And we took a few things to my mom's house, and in my mind, I was thinking like it's going to be like that, maybe, we'll lose all those good cuts of meat that we got from Costco. We're going to have
Right.
to replace those, or like the milk's going to go bad, or the ice cream, or the sherbet, just, really mundane things.
Yeah, but not your whole
Mm,
house to never come back to.
yeah. But I said to my son, who was home at the time, I was like, well, why don't you grab a couple of your things, and put them in your car, and we'll take them to your grandmother's house,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll pack up some things too. And you know um and I figured that we'll be back. Maybe this would be, like a few days out or something, but we'll be back, so we don't need
Yeah.
to pack everything. And
How's he doing? Because he's 28-ish, right?
he's 20. He's my youngest son. He's 24.
Okay.
He's still processing this,
Yep.
and that's a whole nother conversation that we could talk about for hours, is that,
Yeah.
you know how this is impacting our young people.
Definitely.
I don't think I've really processed this myself, because in my mind there's so much work to be done. Like I got to kind of keep my focus on what's in front of me. Like I want to get a house rebuilt. I want to deal with all those components of getting back to a normal life or something. So I don't really have the time or luxury of balling up in a corner,
Mm-hmm.
because like I could do that easily, but
Mm-hmm.
I got to keep it pushing. But I mean, for our young people, we gotta check on our young people. Like we gotta be having those uncomfortable talks, like, how are you, what's going on, or like, just that breaks my heart, because I know it's not just us. I know that there's other families with young people, young adults, college age students, high school students. Everybody processes grief differently. And um and as a parent, you want to be protective of your children at all times. No matter how old they get, they're still your babies.
Right.
That's not going
Forever.
to change. And you really want to take all of that off of them. Like, if I could take if I could carry his load, I would do that in a heartbeat. I wouldn't even think twice about it, but it's just a thing that, we all are sharing this grief together,
Mm-hmm.
and it's, you learn things every day. You're always constantly in a mode. You know something today that you didn't know yesterday or last week. You're always, life is like putting things in front of you. So I don't know. I hope I haven't strayed off topic. The question.
No, I asked how was your son, so that was okay. And that's the beauty of the podcast is like when I was talking to you, you said, well, what are we going to talk about? And I told you it's organic, right? So you get on. I always ask people to introduce and tell us what you do, who you are. And based on that, our conversation will flow as a natural conversation. And then whatever people might put into the chat and ask a question, we'll respond to those. But I do want to bring up some of your artwork from that you've taken since the fire specifically, or that centers around the fire. Did you go to the one that said the fires, Jamal? Or did you just go to a random folder?
I went to the beginning. Let me go back and look at the folder and go to the fires.
There's folders. There's post January 8th.
Yeah, I think I went to
photo.
January.
There's a fire photo, like specifically of just like fire.
Yeah, if you go up to the top of that, it starts with JPEG 1 and or 1.jpg. Yeah, that's where we should start. Thank you, Jamal. Appreciate it.
Copy that.
So appreciate it. So Alfred, do you want to speak to these as we kind of go through those and maybe allow you to give the perspective and the story behind some of these photos that you have for us?
Okay. Everyone who has a cell phone, as a photographer now, you're documenting all of this. This is kind of like a once in a lifetime kind of event, or we should hope that this isn't going to happen again in our lifetime, and our children and all the heirs that come after us, that they never have to imagine this. Just for myself, this is right near Lake and Altadena Drive. If you remember what that looked like before.
Yep.
I had come back. I left our home January 7th about at 11:30 at night, and I believe I was one of the last people in my section of Altadena to leave. And how I know that is because I didn't see any other cars except for mine, or an occasional fire truck or an occasional sheriff's cruiser going down the streets. And the reason why I'd left at that time was because I had this really ominous feeling that if I don't leave now, like, I would hate to think if my car decided not to start, not to turn over, and I'm having to like go on foot to get out of Altadena, like how far I would get, how far I would be able to get on foot. And I just, at that time too, I just figured, well, there's really nothing more I can do. I put my hand to our front door for the last time, and, offered up a soft prayer, like, Lord, if it's in your will, like, I would love, to come back to my house. Like, I don't want to lose my house.
Yeah.
And you find out how much sway and how much control that you have in this lifetime, and you really don't. You're just here. We're all just here.
Yeah.
And I came back the next morning. I came back maybe before 9:30, and I'm looking when I got up into Altadena above New York Drive, and I'm kind of like snaking through some of the side streets because some of the main streets are blocked off.
Right.
And I eventually found my way to Lake and Altadena Drive, and this is what I saw. And I'm just like looking around, and I'm like, my God, I was just here last night. I was just here yesterday. All of this was intact yesterday. And I brought two cameras with me, and I just started snapping pictures. I would pull over and I would just grab pictures. Not that I was looking to, to contact Spectrum and Channel 4 and Channel 5 and CBS and all that, but just like for my own personal edification, like I need to document this.
Yeah.
And these are some of the things that I found. And I know people have thousands of pictures. We all do. I mean, I've been taking pictures before all of this happened, and I was working with the Altadena Historical Society October of 2024, and we were talking about actively going out to document Altadena in a methodical way, just to capture and document the homes and the businesses. And we were planning this in October. Who knew that in less than 3 months, you're not going to get any of that? Like the access that you have now, the access that you will have in a few weeks is going to be totally different.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about it is you still photographed Altadena. It was just a different burned Altadena, right? Mm-hmm. And there are parts that are still intact and not burned down. Mm-hmm. We know that there are houses still standing, but it's much different than what you thought you were going to begin taking pictures of when you had that discussion in October, because no one could have foreseen this, right? Even when we knew a whole week in advance that we were going to have a wind event. And I keep telling people this was not a Santa Ana. Our Santa Anas start like August and run through November usually. Mm-hmm. And they're hot winds, right? Mm-hmm. And yes, we get gusts of 40 miles an hour or whatever, but we don't have winds that are 100 mile an hour and above, and a colder wind. And so we had this wind, and it was not hot in January when this happened. It was cooler. And these were winds that, we have plenty of people that will say, oh, conspiracy or whatever. It's because of the chemtrails and they burned us out. And, people are going to say what they're going to say, and bless them, they have that right. But the facts are we lost everything that we never thought we'd lose. And when we drive around up there, it's like, oh, yeah, that's where my elementary school was. Oh, there's my park, or it used to be, at Farnsworth, right, where we would go.
This the shot that's up right now, that's directly across the street from where our house stood. And I remember the car was
my cousin's house.
I remember this van was parked in the driveway. And coming back that very next day, I was like, wow, the house is still standing because this was a newer construction.
Well, it was a remodel, because my aunt and uncle bought that house when I was 13. And after they passed away, my cousins wound up selling it. Their 3 daughters. Right.
Paul and Linda used to live there.
Right. And so once this family moved in, and he's a physician, and his wife, and they have the Tesla, because I have their number, and I've talked to them several times since the fire, and just to make sure they're okay.
Karen and Lisa.
Yeah, exactly. Lisa, I have her number. And so that tear down that they did and rebuild, they had all the fire escaping, right? And the tin roof and everything that kept that house intact. And I've talked to them several times, and I'm like, Lisa, how do you feel? And she's like, it's crazy, Toni, because our neighborhood is basically gone. And and I always pass it going up to my parents' house, or, the lot or whatever now. And when I see them outside, I'll stop and talk. And, she got her other EV now. But it was so surreal coming to that house. And now I know you live across from there, but coming to that house or going up there and seeing this house intact. And it was just like, they've been there and gone through this 2-year renovation of this home. And it's the only one standing, because just below that on the corner, all that beautiful yard work that they did on that yard.
Yeah, that was Christine and Toni he works at JPL, and I remember that too.
When they did that beautiful landscape.
That the landscape was still pretty much intact, but the house was gone. And I have pictures. I mean, I haven't really gone through all the archives to pull out all the Altadena centric photos because there's so many pictures. And the last time that I checked my archival count, there's like over 140,000 pictures, not just Altadena, but I mean, just in the last 10 or 12 years. So it's a lot of material to wade through, but I have pictures of that corner, the corner of Mount Curve and Palm, where that house was, where all those houses were. And right now, Jim's house at the corner of Palm and Mount Curve, that's still standing because Jim did some remodeling within the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So his home survived. Aaron and Lisa's home had the remodel, and I remember like every day, my wife and I would kind of like goof on how long it was taking, or how like, wow, they aren't done yet, and it was like,
it's good 2 years.
I'm glad that they took that time. I'm glad that I think Aaron's dad is a contractor.
Yes. Yeah, because he would come and they would come and help. I would go by there sometimes.
And I remember seeing him there like all the time. And they really took the time to put all like fire latency into, this remodel.
Sure did.
And, it speaks for itself. If you see what that car looked like versus what the home looked like, that car is like tattered in rubble, but the home is still standing.
It's perfect.
Maybe it had some singe marks, but the structure itself was still standing.
And they're back home.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're back home, and it's eerie for them because all the neighbors aren't there and their kids are missing like, some of their friends in the neighborhood and from schools, but they're back and doing as they can. Jamal, you want to go on and just click through some of these photos? If you see one, Alfred, that you want to stop on and speak to, we can do that. But it's 10:33, so I want to make sure that we get through a lot of them, and that you can speak to some of them for people that are watching in case. And also, if anyone has any questions, please put it in the chat. So one person said taking photographs helps you heal. Somebody else asked, how is taking photographs help you heal? So maybe for them it wouldn't be, but I know if I have something that I can remember, even if I need to mourn or cry over that again later, it is very healing. It's very therapeutic. So can you answer to that person, how has taking photographs helped you heal? That's what they're actually asking.
Okay. Well, as a photographer, that's just part of what I do. So, there's a side of myself that has to document this because at some point the rest of the world is gonna come calling on these pictures.
Yeah.
And there's thousands and thousands of pictures that everybody's taken. And, your story, I mean, even though we're taking the same pictures, like your story is not going to be like my story because we process things different. We see things different. I mean, I look at the real nuances of things. This light bulb, I had to, the picture that you just had, the one that you scrolled right past, I think that was my backyard.
Oh, with the pool?
No, this right here. This is, this is the rear of my house. And if you look in the foreground, you can see Aaron and Lisa's house.
I do. Yeah, right there across the street.
All right.
So did you buy David Valentine's home?
Gary Vandenberg. His parents
below.
had this house and the house south of it.
Okay.
So at one point, they owned both of those homes. Gary was still here when we first moved there, so that was, and I believe his parents had bought the house. I can't say when, but I remember that he gave me the blueprints, the original blueprints to the house, and then the house was built in 1938. And one day he came over and he said, "Well, you guys might like to have this, or I don't have any use for it or something."
Yeah.
And I unfurled it, and it was, it had the address and the blueprints and everything. And I went and I had two copies made because the blueprints themselves were so fragile. And I figured that I don't think I can unroll this thing more than 2 or 3 times before it just completely turns to dust. So I went to a blueprint shop, and they kind of laid it out, and they scanned it and made some copies for us. And I kept all that stuff in the house, figuring, I'll pass this on to the kids, or I'll do something with this. And of course, your best laid plans don't.
Right.
And
you didn't think when it was time to evacuate, oh, let me go get the blueprints, because you figured you'd be back.
No, my thought is like the things that I grabbed that night, I grabbed a lot of my gear, my camera gear. I didn't grab it all, obviously, but I grabbed a lot of it. And I grabbed one of my laptops, and I grabbed 2 external drives and some, and I grabbed a bag that had flash and lenses and things. Like a real small portion of my gear, because that was like what was right in front of me. I didn't think about grabbing books and pictures. I didn't think about grabbing my albums, all of my vinyl that I've been collecting since I was a kid, since I was maybe 4 or 5 years old. So that's like over half a century of like collecting vinyl.
Yeah.
All of my jazz, all of my R&B, all of my soundtracks, everything. It's kind of insane to like even think about that. If someone would have told you 2 weeks before this time, like, you need to gather up, we're giving you a 2-week head start to get everything that's important to you. Even if you had 2 weeks advance notice, or even a month advance notice, that's still not enough time, because you're saying that you have to take a lifetime of everything that you've gathered, that you've collected in your lifetime, and so
have it in a to-go bag.
In my mind, like, as strange as it may sound, like, in my mind, if I can't have everything, I don't want anything, because it's because I know that I would just agonize over that. I would agonize over everything. I would agonize over pictures of my kids when they were babies. I would agonize over the film reels that my wife's parents took of her when she was young, when she had her little kiddie parties when she was a baby. I would agonize over that. I would agonize over the chest that we had when we got married. My wife's dress, the wedding dress that she wore, that was in that chest. The photos, the video, I don't think there's a copy of that. I think we only had one copy. So it's like all the things that you can't replace. And I in some strange way, it was kind of, I'm thinking like, I would rather all of that just be buried there. I don't mean to sound whatever, but it's if I can't have it all, I don't want any of it, because everything means something to me. Everything.
Right.
Like, my kids, when they would do like little cards, like a little Happy Father's Day card.
Yeah.
I mean, like, anything that you think is like mundane, or, those things mean something now, because you're never going to get them back. Not the same way. Little drawings, or if your kid got
I know where that is.
Their spelling test or something. I mean, like every little the little notes that my wife and I wrote to each other when we were dating, when we were like,
No, stay there, Jamal.
Kids, all that stuff. It was like, if I can't have all that stuff, I'd rather just, when the Army Corps of Engineers comes through there to do the phase 1 and the phase 2 of the cleaning, I'm like, just bury all that stuff. Like, I mean, not that there was anything really left, because the fire did a real good job of doing what
clearing it out.
The fire does.
Yeah.
And it welled. Like I remember going on top of the roof the night of the 7th, and I put 2 garden hoses on top of the roof, and I thought for like a brief time about staying on top of the roof, and I was going to try to repel the fire with 2 garden hoses, and how silly that notion is now when you look at what Altadena looked like the next morning. There's no way.
I don't even know that is silly, because to be honest, there were plenty of people that did that, right? One that was like, I'm going to try to save my home, and he perished with the hose in his hand. There were people over on the further east on Lake Calaveras, by Sonoma or whatever, that were literally on their roof, and the firefighters came to help, right? My brother, my daughter, and my nephew were at the house until 1:32 and 2:30 that morning up at Wapello and Mount Curve, trying to save the house and getting everything that they could out so that my parents would have things. So lots of the pictures, things in the garage, and the power was on till 10 o'clock that night. And so, but the house was gone by 2:30, or 3 o'clock in the morning. And so it just, I don't think that it's silly. It's human nature, right? And it's your reaction, like, what can I do to try to help and try to save this? But again, this thing was such a piece.
But when I came back that next morning and saw the houses to the right and left, the houses behind ours, Lisa's van in their driveway, and I'm thinking, like, just the night before, I thought about staying in the midst of that on top of my roof with 2 garden hoses. And I remember walking onto the property, seeing what was left, because I had one metallic garden hose that was in the front. And I remember seeing what was left of that hose. And I'm thinking, like, wow, like I would not have made it.
Yeah.
Like, best intentions or whatever, there's no way I would have survived that at all, because what happened, I mean, wow, you're thinking that there were 2-story houses on either side of our home, and the next morning it looked like everything was flattened, our house included. And I'm like, wow, I'm thinking, like, there's no way that I would have made that.
Yeah. And I'm glad you did get out, though. I was looking at this photo that Jamal has up, and I know where that is, because that house that we see in the background is on the corner of Dolores and Mount Curve, right? That's that one.
This is on Poppy Fields.
Okay.
That's what's left of my neighbor's home.
Okay.
Her home is maybe towards kind of where Lake and Poppy Fields are at. So her home was maybe the second home from that corner.
Of which corner? Lake and Poppy Fields?
Yes. On like east of Lake.
Right, east of Lake.
On that side of Lake.
Okay. And then did you want to go over some other another album? Like another folder, I should say.
Yeah. If you wanted to look at the post January 8th or the Sweden pictures, even, I spent about a month in Sweden. There was a artist residency program that someone had sent me a text, and it was it was the last day to apply for it, and I I had really talked myself out of applying because I was just thought, well, this is the last minute, and they probably have hundreds or if not thousands of people who've already applied for this, and there's no way that I just really kind of talked myself out of it. And then something just came into my head and was like, well, why don't you do it anyways? Like, why don't you just apply anyways? What's the worst that could happen? And what else are you doing, like, anyways? Like,
Yeah,
so,
right now. Huh?
Yeah, and I didn't know how much that when I had found out that I was selected to go. I had let my wife know, and just to see if it was cool, if I could get a hall pass to go somewhere for a month, if that was okay. And she was very supportive of it, and I didn't know how much I needed to be out of Los Angeles, out of California, out of Altadena. I didn't know how much that I needed that at that time. I needed just to get away and just like hear myself breathe, like hear myself, like just listen to my heartbeat, listen to nature, just everything around me. I didn't know how much that I needed that,
Well, you know what? It's so amazing that you say that, because we in Altadena, or Altadenians and San Gabriel Valley people that live up against the foothills, right, are so used to like our African parrots in the morning, or midday or whatever, a flock of them going by, or hearing the coyotes, or hearing the other birds and all kind of stuff, right? And so after the fires, there was just silence. It was so eerie, because you go up there, and I remember going in full Tyvek, suits, and I would double mask and double glove, because the stench of the air was horrible, right? The burned homes and whatever else was toxic. But then now, I was just out the other day, and somebody was like, what is all that noise? And I looked up and I was like, oh, our parrots are back. I was so excited, because they're flying again, like in huge, flocks as they go by. And you hear them with all of the squawking and stuff. But it was so nice to hear them. And then several times I've gone up the hill and I stop and go, oh, because there's a coyote middle of the day just chilling in one of the driveways. And I backed up one day and I rolled my window down. I was like, boy, you're not supposed to be out at this time of day. That means you're sick. I'm literally talking to our wildlife, because if you're an Altadenian, you see them, you're not scared of them, you just do whatever. And then one day I was up on the lot, and one came running from the next door, and he stopped and looked at me. And I was like, go on somewhere, because I'm too big for you to think I'm prey, just, or whatever. But I get what you're saying about being out, hearing nature, seeing the beautiful, what we're seeing here of the water and the trees. And I mean, all your photos are black and white, but I can imagine the blue skies and how beautiful.
I black and white is just where my head is at, but I shoot in color, and the things that translate well into black and white, those are the things that I kind of run with. But it's really hard to describe how beautiful Sweden is. When you think of like blue skies, the skies are the bluest. There's not a lick of smog. It's not California. It's not downtown LA, where what the LA basin looks like, how that fog just kind of hangs right there, that thick layer of fog, that smog, really. None of that there. And it's quiet, it's peaceful. The roads are super narrow, and it's lush and green. I mean, it's just very peaceful and serene. I really can't say enough about it. I really needed to be there at that time. I really needed to regroup. I needed to kind of get my head together, and just like take a breath, take a pause, because I knew like eventually I have to go home again. I have to go back into California. I got to go back to Southern California. I got to go back to Altadena. I got to get back into that grind. I got to get with the insurance adjuster. I got to get with the architect. I got to get with the builders. I got to get with the permits and all that, because we need to put our house back together. So I just needed to go somewhere far away and just kind of, yell. And I did do that yell out there in the forest, a big WTF kind of yell, because I needed to get that out of my system, but
so did anything echo back? Like, how they go yodel or whatever and it comes back? Did that happen?
Just me. Really just me. And the island that we were on had maybe 600 people on that island. So
wow. Nice.
When you think of you would maybe see people occasionally. And you think of how populated Los Angeles is. There's millions of people in Los Angeles. You have an island of less than 1,000 people. Big difference. It
looks very simple. And I don't say that in a bad way, because
no, not at all.
Simplifying and get rid of all the fluff and the stuff is. And one thing I can say about Europe, because I was there for like 2 weeks this summer, Greece, Italy, all that stuff, right? And absolutely amazing. It reminds me of a little bit of when we were in Montenegro, with all the water surrounding the island and different islands that we went to. And so peaceful. And yes, the roads are super skinny, but you know how we have road rage on our wide freeways? They don't. They're just like, go, we'll stop, we'll let you go. At least, the places I went. And it was in Croatia, Montenegro, Italy, all that. And it was amazing to see that they weren't like honking and cussing each other out and all this stuff. And it was
the vibe is just and sometimes you really have to get out of your environment, go and experience how someone else lives. For me, this wasn't a vacation type of excursion. It was like, it was academic kind of, that's the best way to put it. So it wasn't like I was going to tour places or, being put up in a hotel or something. It was just like, go and experience this, go live amongst the people, go walk these roads. And I had these 5-mile walks where I may have missed the bus, because the bus only runs once every few hours. And if you miss it, you're going to have to walk to wherever you need to go to. And I really needed those walks, because I could just, when you're someplace quiet like this, you'll be surprised how your inside voice speaks very loud to you. Like you're having conversations with yourself, really deep intellectual conversations. Like, what do you see? What do you hear? What do you notice? Like, what do you, and it really gave me a real profound appreciation for things. I mean, I hated that, I lost my home in the way that I did, but, being outside of that environment, it kind of informed me that, you don't, none of this stuff is yours. Like, you come into this world naked and you're going to leave eventually the same way.
Yeah.
But, in the meantime, it's the things around you. It's the people that you meet, the relationships that you form. That's what's important. Things can be replaced. Not everything, but I mean, a lot of things can be replaced, but it's just like something about, I'm just glad. And it's really hard to articulate it without getting too emotional. But it's like you're very grateful. Like you have this newfound great gratefulness for what you have. Like, I have my family. I mean, I can imagine if I had decided to stay that night and my wife would get a phone call, from the fire department or the sheriff's department, like, well, we found a wallet, or we need you to come identify this box of ash or something, or do you recognize the shoe or something crazy? And it was just like, wow, I don't have everything, but I like what's
That's
important.
A beautiful photo right there. That's stunning.
There were no, I'm just, you couldn't take a bad picture there. That's how beautiful this part of Sweden is.
Where were you in Sweden? The name of it?
The island we were on was called Bjorko.
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 Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna
go check it out. And I'm sure if you go there, just ask anyone there, like, do you guys remember this 6'3" African American guy? It's like, oh,
right, Alfred, right. I might, because I try to go somewhere, if not once a year, once every year and a half, 2 years. And since I just did Italy and all that this summer, I'm going to go to Bjorko. Watch me, probably next summer or something. I'm gonna be like, Alfred, where should I go? This is
just check it out. Amazing. I think everybody owes it to themselves to get out of California.
Totally.
I know everybody wants to come to California. Everybody wants to go to Disneyland and go to Hollywood. And if you're from SoCal, it's for us, it's old hat because we're used to it. It's so overrated. Go somewhere else where there's real beauty. Like, go get out of the country.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I always tell people. And I told all my kids, I have one that lives in Baton Rouge, but I told all my kids growing up, California is not the end all be all. You grew up here. You do not have to stay here. And for me, I have a passport. I will get on a plane in a heartbeat. So wherever you choose to live, don't worry about your mom, because I can come visit you. But I want them, having been in the service like you, I lived overseas, and so it's just like, I will go. And then my parents traveled all over the world and would take us places, from the time we were like in third grade, summer after third grade, we toured all 50 United States, like when we were young, and went in the Statue of Liberty. We went to the Grand Tetons, we'd go camping, like all kinds of stuff. Right. So we've always were exposed to travel, and I still have the travel bug, and we'll be like, see y'all later. I'm going to Paris for the weekend, or I'm going here for 4 days or 5 days, or, and I love solo travel. I've been to Toronto on my own and a bunch of places. And so trust me, I'm gonna be in Bjorko pretty soon, but, I agree with you. Like, get out, go see the world. It's beautiful, and, go and explore.
And now that I've, now that I'm aware of the opportunities that are out there for artists, I'm definitely going to be applying for more of these things, because I would love to go, like as an ambassador of Altadena, or as an ambassador of the US, or whoever I'm representing, to go and to share my work, to go and to share my photography, to speak about my photography, my journey, or whatever you want to call it, and also to just immerse myself in somewhere far from home, and just let that muse come and sit on your shoulder and let it do what it does. And you'll find out that when you get out of your environment that you're used to, that your mind just opens up a whole nother way. It just, your creativity, everything that you see, everything that you see around you just opens up in a way that it doesn't quite happen the same way at home. You can only look at the 110 freeway so many times. You can only look at the 210 so many times. You can only go up and down the top of Lake Avenue, like back and forth, or Fair Oaks or Lincoln. Get out of your
right?
get out of that environment. You owe it to yourself. And I kind of wish that I had done this when I was younger. I didn't think that I would have to wait till I was in my late 50s to really start like doing those kind of things. But as long as you're 6 feet above ground,
go do it.
You go
have
do
that
it.
opportunity. Go do it.
No one's stopping you. Like the only person that's stopping you is you. The only person in front of you, is yourself. So I definitely hope to find myself, overseas again, as much as my wife will let me have a hall pass, to go places.
Yeah, no, I get it, because I'm telling you, there's nothing like overseas travel. And I have a team that works with me. I have my own business and I do government contracting, and they're all in Morocco. And they're like, when are you coming to visit? And when are you coming to Morocco? And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take a business trip and come to Morocco soon. But there's so many amazing places in this world that are beautiful, and that there are friendly people. And it's not, a horrible experience. You got to maybe do your research to make sure wherever you're going to go, you'll be safe. But there are lots of beautiful places that are waiting for us to travel to. So I wish you all the success with the next one that you're going to take, because I know you're going to, now that you did this one, you'll be like, where can I find these residencies again? And I'm sure you are more connected to that community now where these things can happen. And I'm sure your wife will go, yeah, go ahead. Because then it might be a little break for her too, right? And might be great for you if you go away and come home. And, it allowed her to have some time as she was processing the trauma and the grief as well on her own, because it's great that you all have done it together, but she might need to just be like, okay, he's away. I can text or talk to him, FaceTime him or whatever, but I get to sit in it for me and figure out, where I am too, because though you're a couple, you're both individuals, right? And each of you have to do your own processing. But I am happy to hear that you're going to rebuild. And I pray and wish you the best with that. One thing that's very amazing to me is when I go up each week, I'll be out there later on today, and I'm gonna go to the town council meeting tonight, because now I guess there's going to be some discussion about this Charles White Park that Disney wants to reimagining.
Oh, wow.
Right. And that they've said they're going to donate $5 million or whatever to reimagine the park. But people are like, wait, hold up. Even Shauna Beer, who I don't always agree with, she had a really good post last night that I was like, thanks for this thoughtful post, where she was saying, this park was named after Charles White, a Black artist. And we don't see anything in this Disney reimagining.
Nothing about Disney is connected to Charles White.
Right. Yeah. And even though, and I think what has happened is the supervisor or whoever, people have kind of greenlit it, because they're also sponsoring and helping with the relighting of the ceremony for Christmas Tree Lane in a couple of weeks. And they're going to have characters there and all that. But this park was Charles White Park, and there were already plans for the park. And it seems like what has been approved by town council and all the residents that over the years have really talked about it. And there was $3 million from the county already allocated to go into that. Have now been tossed out of the window because Disney's coming with $5 million. So tonight at 7 at the community center, there is a meeting in regards to that. And I'm going to make sure that I go. And because if we show up and we're not aware of everything, then people are going to do what they want to do.
Yeah, and my hope too with with rebuilding, that for all of the outside help that is coming our way, that's coming to Altadena, we appreciate it.
Right.
But in the same breath, it's like we don't want to lose our flavor. Like,
right.
We want to preserve what makes Altadena.
That's the biggest thing I think I keep telling people too, Alfred, because yes, the help is welcomed and needed, but for people to decide they're going to come in and say, oh, we're going to do this.
We're going to help you like this. Like, this is how,
right.
this is how we're going to apply our help.
Right. And that's not what Altadena wants. We want to come back as we want it. People of Altadena. And then if you want to fund it, fine. If you want to come in, but then like, we've got a ton of not only artists like you, but architects. But you're getting architects from La Cañada and LA and all these people to say, we're urban planners and we're going to come in and put mixed use up and down lake. And we're like, no, we don't want apartments up and down lake with mixed use. We have that ugly one that's down there on the east side above the auto body right above New York. And it's like, that's ugly. Nobody, they let that slide through and it didn't burn down. But Altadena does not want that. We don't want to become a city, right? We want to come back as the beautiful town, the eclectic, the fully cultural, whatever, but do it the way we want. They're talking about, we're going to put a bunch of subterranean parking or parking lots so you guys have more parking. Or what I heard about Sunday was, Lake doesn't need 2 lanes. We only need 1 and make slanted parking. Are you crazy? People go up and down Lake all the time, and we see the cluster that has happened above Altadena Drive with making it 1 lane. Put the 2 lanes back, and definitely below Altadena Drive, we need 2 lanes. So these people are coming in deciding, I'm urban planners, but also the demographic that is showing up to these meetings and that knows about these meetings does not represent all of Altadena, not in age or culture. And so, and a lot of them are our age, right? 60-ish, 50-ish, whatever. But you don't also have the younger people that are 40, 30, 20s that live here and saying for them over the next 20 or 30 years, what do you want to see? So I think it is so important that people know about the meeting tonight, show up tonight, and any Tuesday that they have the meeting, whether it's virtual or in person, if you can, because if Altadenians don't speak up and speak out, then a lot of these other people are going to come into our beautiful town and do what they want, and that's not cool. So do you know Jake from the Ace Smoke Shop? I
don't smoke, but I do.
It doesn't matter. He just said hi, and that this is Jake from your buddy Jake from Ace Smoke Shop. Not saying you smoke.
I have some shots of the smoke shop like prior to the fire, and I'm thinking what I want to do at some point is like maybe have a photography exhibit of Altadena pre-January 8th or pre-January 7th or pre-January 2025. All of the mundane, like everyday, like kind of pictures. I have pictures of Farnsworth Park. I have pictures of my son playing baseball. He in his little baseball outfit, or when the sheriff's department used to have the Altadena, whatever the hell you call that, where they would come and they would make hot dogs and have hamburgers and have like a little mixer. I mean, I have so many pictures over the years. The Altadena, the garden over at Loma Alta Park.
The community gardens?
Yeah, the community garden.
That's the one that my dad started.
I have so many like random pictures. Steve's bike shop, Steve's pet store, the hardware store, all of these things. And, not knowing that maybe there would come a time that, maybe the world would come calling on these or would come looking for these things.
Yeah.
When Side Pie was on the corner of Lake and Altadena Drive, I have a shot of the young lady who was at the front booth there, and I went across the street and I kind of waved at her, and she waved back at me. So I have that whole picture there.
Nice.
And you look at what's there now.
Yeah.
All of that's gone, and those pictures. Even though, they're not really like striking, they're needed now. Like we need that more than ever. Maybe we didn't need it the same time, last year or the year before. Even when we had the march from Farnsworth Park down to Lake and Altadena Drive to the park there, the little veterans park.
Yeah, the corner, right?
Yeah, the corner there. I mean, the fact that you'll probably never see that again. You know, just the people marching down Lake Avenue. You know, and
we will. I
there.
think we will, because
I mean, the way that it happened, like it's not going to happen the same way again. So I'm just glad that I did my little small part to help document these things. And I'm not saying that I'm like the only person qualified to take pictures. I'm not. I'm just one guy, you know, doing it. I'm in my own lane.
Yeah.
I'm just taking pictures of what I'm seeing, like what I'm viewing, like what I'm looking at. And, you know, I just hope that, you know, everybody else kind of, kind of has that same mindset. Like there's so many pictures and memories that we have in the past, you know, few years, and we really need to share those. We need to make sure that when as we put Altadena back together, that we have pictures documenting what it was like. This is what we had before. This is how it looked before.
So with that, I know you shared with me, right? So that we could do the show, you gave a link. But if somebody wants to go and see your portfolio or whatever, what is your website, or do you have one that people can go to where you might have these up and they can look at before, after the fires, Sweden, or whatever? How could people get in touch with you or go there so that, you know, they can do that?
Okay. My website is observationalphotography.com. I'm in the midst of revamping the website because it's a little dated, and I'll be updating that before we go into 2026, maybe by spring, if not sooner. Aside from there, you can follow me on the gram. Is that how the kids say it?
I know, right? Instagram. I love that.
Yeah. So yeah, you can check me out on Instagram. I have a couple of pages. One is I have a IG page under my name, Alfred Haymond. So you can check me out there. There's another one called Power to the Peaceful Pasadena that was put together in 2020 in response to what was going on at the time, the George Floyd incident, Breonna Taylor, the young man here at Pintoresca Park, Anthony McLean. All of that was put together, and that page kind of stands as a time capsule of what was going on. It's been, you know, almost 6 years since all that happened. So you can go there and look at those pictures. I believe there's maybe 400 pictures there or something. And it just kind of, you know, stands to where we were and what was going on. This page here, my personal page, is just different photography things. I mean, they're both black and white, kind of centric, but those are the two places where you can go. And also I try and have a gallery showing at least once every quarter somewhere. So coming up in first quarter of 2026, I'll be having the 10th edition of my Black History photography show called Observations in Black. It's something that started in the San Gabriel Valley, Pasadena and Altadena, and I had no idea that, you know, I was nearing my 10th year, because I just you know, unconsciously putting the show together, really not thinking about, well, how many shows have we done, or, you know, what year is this, like which edition are we in now? And now that we're on the coming up on the 10th edition, the 9th edition was scheduled to be at the Altadena Library 2025, and it was going to run February and March. And I had prepared all of the pictures that were going to go into that exhibit. I thought to get everything put in place ahead of time. Well, my wife kind of insisted that I do that stuff and not wait till the last minute. She's like, why don't you do yourself a favor and get everything together ahead of time in January, so that you have a few weeks to kind of, if you wanted to switch anything out, or if you wanted to do any like other kind of planning. And I did that. I had over 60 pieces ready for that exhibit. That was, and I started promoting it January 6th. I had posters and things laid out, and of course by January 8th, all that was gone. All the frame pieces, all the frame pictures that I had, some of the things were from my first shows and different things, which is why I'm glad that I had grabbed the laptop and the external hard drives when I did, because I would have lost even more content. There were things that I had left behind. There were pictures on hard drives, on flash drives, on jazz drives, even if you can remember jazz drives.
I don't, but,
okay.
but Brian probably does.
Yeah, so you're going back to maybe early 1990s or mid 90s. And I kind of lament what was lost in the fire, but I'm grateful that I have pieces that people purchased before all of this happened. So I actually have pictures that hang in people's homes or people's businesses, or that they're part of a permanent collection somewhere else. That's out there still. That's great to know that not everything was lost.
Yeah.
So,
well, we know that there's a lot of not only residents but businesses that are ready to come back. And just going through the permitting process, right, which takes a minute. But one home is now complete as of yesterday.
Nice.
There are, and it's not the cinder block one, but let me look, because I did keep a screenshot of that. So as of yesterday, the permits by the numbers, there are 2,320 residential permits that have been received by regional planning. Their zoning reviews have cleared and apps reviewed are 1,952. In public works, there are 1,862. That's structures with full building plans received. And then single family and ADU permits, 612. So it keeps going up each week, which we're glad. And now one new residential construction is complete as of yesterday. And the turnaround time says that it's 87 business days. So I know that, people are like, oh, that's almost 3 months. That's taking a long time. But
don't look at it like that, because we're already in November. If someone had told you back in January, well, look forward to November, or Thanksgiving to be here in November, or just different things. There was no way to even fathom what 10 months would look like. This has gone by so quick. So if you're thinking about rebuilding,
87 days is nothing.
Yeah, don't look at it like it's going to take so much time to rebuild my home. Time is going to go by anyways, regardless if you're standing still or if you're keeping yourself busy. It's going to happen. So I would just,
and this is what I'm saying to people. As of today now, there's 830. Oh, wait, you know what? That's both Eaton and Palisades. But for Eaton only, there's 803 permits now issued as of this morning. So, and 87 are the business days to permit issuance. 2329 received, 1957 zoning reviews cleared, 13. So they are speeding it up. And just think, 803 permits issued. People are we already see about 20 homes up or going up, right? In some form, way, shape, or form.
And foundations and things.
foundations, framing, roofing. And so before you know it, and I will say this again, I went to the After the Fire Summit in September, 2 months ago. The mayor of Lahaina, of Maui, was there.
Wow.
And for that Maui fire in Lahaina, the 1,500th and last home was just cleared. I was there in September, not August, in September. The last home was cleared in August, 2 years after the fires.
Wow.
And that was from the Army Corps doing it. Granted, they're on an island, but they have a whole process. They ship debris out and all of that. But it has taken so long, and they don't have as many permits as we do. And so they're starting, and his motto and his thoughts are, we are going to stay at this until everyone that wants to return is able to return. We're going to do everything for finances and all of that. So we have to have that same thought process or mentality. We stick with this. We stick with going to funders. We stick with having programs like ours where we bring people on and we make people aware so that everyone that wants to come back to Altadena, we're in this until they come back. And as of today, 803 permits issued. So
that's awesome. That is awesome.
And as of yesterday,
we hope to be on that list too. We hope to by spring. That's kind of where we're at. We really look forward to coming back. And if I could just leave one thing with people who have tuned into the show, just keep that spirit of hope. I mean, just maintain that. I know this isn't going to happen overnight, but just like always, like keep that spirit of optimism. And we're all in this stuff together. Like
that's right.
We're sharing this grief.
That's right.
If that makes any sense, we're like the way that I cope is knowing that you understand where I'm coming from, that there's other people, like we're all like in this,
Yeah.
And
we're all in it together. And yes, everybody's displaced. There are people out of state. There are people up north. There are people all over San Gabriel Valley, LA County, everything. Palm Springs. I know people that are out there, but stay in touch with one another. However, stay connected even with us at Altadena Talks, because we may bring someone on that right? We may bring someone on that gives you the information that you need. And then we also do the announcements every day. So I'm going to try to wrap this up here shortly, because you just said the one thing, if I could take away, we usually try to stay at an hour and then do our announcements. We're already at almost an hour and a half. So I don't want to have people on here for a couple hours, but I would encourage people to go to observationalphotography.com. You do have to create an account and get access in order to go on to Alfred's, to see all of his work, or find him at Alfred Haymond on Instagram. Because you can see pretty much a whole lot more there, at least for right now, because he's revamping his site. But if you want to stay in contact with him, see what's coming up. I know for Black History Month, you talked about that doing the show, and I'm trying to help you get it again here in Pasadena. I told him yesterday, he was like, I may have to go to LA. I was like, absolutely not. And so I told him, I said, we got the Eden Fire Collaboratory. That's a huge space. You could probably do it there. So I'm going to work with folks and try to get it over there February 1st, because Alfred's been here 30 years, 28 years.
And it's a sense of pride too. Like I started the Observations in Black. It was started in the San Gabriel Valley. I would love for it to continue and carry on in the San Gabriel Valley. And my thing is that at some point I'm going to have to turn this over to our younger photographers, and I have no problem with that. And I'm thinking like that's what we're meant to do anyways. We're meant to do our thing and eventually entrust that into the hands of the ones that are coming up after us.
Yeah, because we're not here forever.
I'm totally fine with being a mentor, being a guide or whatever, to be able to pass that on. Because I'm thinking that I would love for this to continue on, like long after like we're no longer here. Like I would love for this to carry on. It would be neat to see. It would be neat to know that there's an observations in Black going on 100 years from now. You know?
Yeah.
So I just want to kind of help to lay those seeds now, and hopefully, you know, that takes on a life of its own and continues to grow. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that it's so important that we do that, right? Because we have to mentor or guide or whatever our next generation. Mm-hmm. And I think it would be great if we could find out. I know Brian went to a couple of the things, I think at the Armory or somewhere, but there were some young artists that did some stuff in Altadena, Pasadena recently. Mm-hmm. And that had to do with post the fire, right? And mm-hmm. so it would be great that maybe between now and observations in Black that they can connect with you and they can, you know, you can mentor them as you're doing that, and they
would be fantastic.
Yeah.
And two, not just for our youth, you know, I want to say to all of us people on this side of 50, like if you feel you have a calling, if you feel you have a gift, or if you feel that you have something that you want to express, there's nothing that's stopping you. Like, don't feel like you're too old, like, or you missed the boat, like you had a chance to do something great. You can do it now. Just jump in. You know, if you need somebody to kind of give you that push or that rah, call me. I'll push you. I'll tell you that you can do it. There's nothing stopping you. You know.
Well, thank you, Alfred. I really appreciate you being on today. It's 11:27, so we're gonna shut this down, or we're gonna be on here for 2 hours, because we could talk about all kinds of stuff forever. But I welcome you to come back. I'll shoot you dates.
I would definitely love to come back if you guys have something going on for Black History Month. Please let me slot me in for that, because I definitely want to like carry the observations in Black program forward. So I definitely want to come and talk about it. I can
get you back in February right after that, but also when you have your location and everything, make sure you text me or whatever, let me know, because we'll need to advertise it. When you do your flyer, shoot it over to me. We'll advertise it and let people know where it's going to be and what times and dates, because it's super important. And I just thank you for coming and sharing so much of you today. Not only your photography, but your healing, your grieving, your, you know, how you experience the fire. All of that is so important. And then your positivity on the rebuild and coming back, because people need to consistently know there are people out there that are like, yeah, we're going nowhere. We're going to rebuild.
I mean, if I could just say one last thing, like we're going to be okay. You know,
absolutely.
This is funky. It's super funky. It was unplanned. I mean, we didn't see it coming like this.
Right.
But you know, this has happened, and we're still here. And I'd lean on you like you lean on me, like you lean on the next person. Like we're all in this stuff together.
Absolutely.
And that's how we're going to turn this around. You know, we need each other more than we, you know, can ever know. Like we really need each other. And that's how we're going to put this stuff back together, you know.
Definitely.
So hopefully one day I can have you come over to the house when we get it built.
Oh, for sure. I'll be there. Matter of fact, I want to know when you break ground. I want to know when you frame or lay your slab frame, because what we have been doing and will continue to do, we go out to sites, we take pictures. If we're invited to come to a groundbreaking, we try to take video or something and then talk about it on the show. And if not, we just go around and take pictures or video of homes and then talk about it on Mondays or whatever and say, look, this is on Loma Alta and Marengo. This is on Monte Rosa. This is on Los Flores. This is on wherever, to be Mount Curve soon. This is on Wapello. This is on wherever. So people know where these houses are going up. There's one on Alta Vista, almost at Lake, one in from Lake that one day we went and there was a guy there and I was like, hi, are you the owner? He was like, no. I was like, okay, well, I'm coming up in here. Like they had the fence, right? And I went up in the fence and Brian and Brandon were like, Toni is crazy, probably. But I walked all through and we'll keep doing it, right? Because people like knowing that. And some people are like, well, I don't want to be the only one on my block that is rebuilding or moves in and nobody else is back. And, things like that. And it's like, no, we need to let people know.
We need folks, people need to see people building. Because that fires the next person up. That inspires the next person to say, well, if they can do it, I can do it. And they see that person, then someone else, that it just rolls like that. It works like that. It's important for us to see that our neighbors are rebuilding, that our neighbors are putting shovels in the ground, that our neighbors are not fleeing, that we're not leaving. Like we have a stake in this,
Yep,
we want to come back. So
yeah. So thank you again for coming on today.
Thank you for having me on the show. Absolutely. And I apologize that we kind of ran long. So
well, because you don't have sense of time like that. And for you, look, you already said it. You were in the military and you always got in trouble because you were late. So it's all good. This was needed. For you, this was needed because I'm sure this was therapeutic. For the audience, it was needed. And so it's all good. We don't have set times. There are days we're in here for 2 hours, but I think that this was so needed, and I'm so thankful that
I think too, we need to see our people smiling. We need to see our people operate out of a sense of joy. Like, this is you need to see me grinning. My wife gets on my case about that, but you need to see me cheesing and smiling and everything, because it's like there's hope.
There is.
I'm coming back. Like it's not going to happen tomorrow, but I will be back.
That's right.
I'm coming back. This is my home, the 91001 zip code.
91001. That's right.
That's home.
Well, thank you again. Looking forward to bringing you back on. And now we are going to transition in a minute. Jamal may have comments or questions. Brian may as well. But if not, we'll go into our announcements. And at that point, if you want to just drop off, you can. But super glad that you came on today. And it was a great conversation.
Having me on. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Before I do the announcements, I also want to thank you. I love your photographs. They're amazing. I know you're not going to stop. However, I do want to say, please keep them coming. I think I looked at one of the folders that you had because I wasn't quite sure which one to go to originally, and I saw some of the pre-2000 January 8th or January 7th photos. So they were color. It was before the fires. All those are amazing. So just keep them coming, because I think you're also going to show the progress, which is going to be helpful for folks as well. Even though some people aren't going to take their own photographs, seeing yours still, I believe, will be helpful for them. And, just feeling what was going on, doing some remembering as well as some healing. So thank you so much.
Yeah. Well, thank you both for the platform. This is perfect. I just really can't say enough. So I think I've said too much. So
not at all.
You've done a great job. Great. Can't wait to have you back on.
All right. Thank you.
Did Brian want to pop on and say anything?
He's not on anymore. I don't know what happened.
He pops on, he pops off, because Brian is always busy and has a ton of stuff going on in the background.
Yeah. So, I'm not sure what happened, but I'll go ahead and do the slides. I'm only doing the second half, just the things that are local. Thank you again, Alfred, and I'm going to jump into this right now.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. After that very nice interview with Alfred Haymond, I'm going to go into our slides, just the second half of them. I'm going to talk about the free medical clinic, medical and mental health clinic that's at the Eaton Health Village. It's at 1280 East Washington Boulevard in Pasadena. It's every Monday and Wednesday from 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. They do accept walk-ins. to be seen or to set up an appointment. You can also call for questions or to set up appointments at area code 951-595-7032. The primary services are medical consultations, medication refills, mental health services, and case management. Once a month, they do have vision and dental help as well. Then every Monday and Tuesday, there's the Freedom Shop for Eaton Fire survivors. It is by appointment only at Harambe, which is at 1609 Navarro Avenue in Pasadena from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. To actually schedule your appointment, you can either scan the QR code or you can go to tinyurl.com/Harambe Freedom Stores. Thanks, Toni.
You're welcome. Sorry.
And the next one is the LA County Department of Mental Health does have the support classes where they're discussing dealing with the disaster, how to cope and thrive now through November 29th, except on Thanksgiving, and they weren't open on Veterans Day either. It's happening at Loma Alta Park, which is at 3330 North Lincoln Avenue in Altadena. They do take place on Tuesdays from 5 p.m. to 6:30 p.m., and then Thursdays and Saturdays from 12 noon to 1:30 p.m. If you'd like additional information, please contact Dr. Michelle Majors at 626-430-2930. And then, of course, the LaundryTruckLA.com has their services. They're on the next one is, well, there's one today, which is at Pasadena Sierra Madre YMCA at 611 East Sierra Madre Boulevard in Sierra Madre. The drop-off times are from 10 to 12. They also have two locations tomorrow. One is at the Altadena Adventist Church at 2609 North Lincoln Avenue in Altadena, and the other is at First AME Church at 1700 North Raymond Avenue in Pasadena. Those two locations have laundry drop-off hours from 9 to 11 a.m. Once you do drop off your laundry, if you come back in a couple hours, it will have been washed, dried, and folded for you. Healing Together support group. There's a free grief and loss support group for LA Fires. It happens every Wednesday from 6:30 to 8 p.m. It's at the Maxwell House, which is located at 55 South Grand Avenue in Pasadena. It is virtual and is for anyone impacted by the recent fires. However, they do want to restrict it to adults only. It is free of charge, and if you'd like some additional information, you can reach out at 818-395-8066 or reach out to Joanne Kogel, that's KOEGL, at gmail.com. And then every Wednesday, which is tomorrow, from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. is the We Out Here Market at the world famous Fair Oaks Burger at 2560 North Fair Oaks Avenue in Altadena. You want to make sure that you bring your proof of Altadena residency, so bring that ID. And some of the items that are going to be available are free farmers markets, vegan hot meals, groceries, hygiene products, thrift store pop-up, legal advice, love and prayers, and much, much more. And they do ask that you bring an extra bag if you can. If you'd like additional information, please reach out to juicylittle.org. Now, also for the month of November at the We Out Here Market, they're actually providing free seasoning and spices. This is taking place, or they're providing everyday essentials like salt, black pepper, seasoned salt, some garlic and onion powder and salt, bouillon and blends like chicken, beef, and tomato bouillon, along with taco and gravy packets and Italian seasoning. There's also herbs and greens like oregano, thyme, and basil, hot stuff like cayenne, crushed red pepper, and chili powder or paprika, and baking and sweet spices like nutmeg, ground cinnamon, white and brown sugar, powdered sugar, and vanilla extract. So again, this is still happening at the We Out Here Market each Wednesday in November from 12 to 3. And if you're interested in helping, you can scan the QR code to get some to help out. Hold on a sec. Let me remove this banner real quick. Thank you. And I did want to put this up. I put it up a while ago. Tony had brought it to my attention, maybe Brian as well. But I want to have this Hope as an address. It's the Altadena Prefab Showcase. The grand opening was the 8th of November from 10 to 5. But it's also going to be on Lincoln and Archwood through the end of the month. It's on Wednesdays through Friday from 12 to 6, as well as Saturdays 10 to 5 and Sundays 12 to 5. You get to tour a variety of factory-built homes and connect with resources for rebuilding. Parking will be at the Community Bible Church at 2124 Lincoln Avenue. Okay, so we have the next installment of the Altadena Revealed monthly lecture series. It's reflections of people and place. This is the number 8, which is about Christmas Tree Lane from the planting to the 50s. The speaker is Mary Landau. It'll take place this Friday, November 21st from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Altadena Main Library at 600 East Mariposa Street. It begins at 7, or rather the doors open at 7, and the lecture begins at 7:30, lasting till 8:30. Please scan the QR code to register. And again, it is this Friday. And then as Alfred had mentioned, and Tony as well, there is the grand reopening of the Mariposa Junction. It was scheduled for last Saturday, but has been rescheduled to this Saturday. It'll be the 22nd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It takes place at 2555 Lake Avenue in Altadena. If you want to register, please go to tinyurl.com/Mariposa Junction. You can also scan the QR code to register, and there will be food, drinks, music, and giveaways at this event. Should be 1 or 2 more slides left. So also on the 22nd, from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. will be the annual holiday open house at Webster's Community Pharmacy. This will be at 2333 Lake Avenue in Altadena, and there will be some art that is featured by Austin Scott and much, much more. And there is a movie night at Fair Oaks Burger. This is taking place on Sunday. It's a sneak peek to see a work-in-progress documentary on Fair Oaks Burger. The topic is the Fair Oaks Burger, exploring their inspiring family story, the aftermath of the Eaton Fire, the community distribution events, and the creation of the beautiful mural by artist Robert Vargas. It's going to take place from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Sunday. It's going to be screened outdoors, so bring your blankets and chairs, and then stick around for Q&A. Afterwards, there'll be delicious food. Altadena's very own Taco 210 is going to provide that. And it's indicated again, bring your own chairs and blanket. This should actually be pretty cool. So that's it for the slides and the announcements. I'll bring Tony and Alfred's still there. Let me remove him. Tony, there we go. B, I brought you back in so you can say hello and goodbye, I guess.
Like the assembly at school. Hello, goodbye.
You're low. I can hear you, but you're low.
I haven't touched anything, so I don't know why.
Oh, I don't know why either. But that was a real cool,
Thank you, Jamal.
Cool show. Yeah, absolutely. That was a cool show. I love his photographs. And as you had indicated, the stories behind them
Hold on, this is my mom.
Were
Hey,
awesome
Mom.
too. So I hope that Alfred actually comes on again. I look forward to seeing his the thing that he has for the Black History Month as well. I'm glad there was a lot of interaction with the folks that were watching. Look at that. Jake is saying, "What's up to you, B?" Hold on, let me go.
So, Jake used to own the smoke shop that was next to the Rancho.
I do.
I used to go over there and talk to him a lot because, it's the neighborhood, it's the community.
Absolutely.
And,
I was about to start conversations about getting my cigars in there too.
Right. I was always trying to hook people up with him too. To push
Jake's
their
a real nice guy.
Yeah, so I think he just had an event last week. I'm not quite sure because it was raining this past weekend, so I didn't go anywhere. But there should be more to come. And plus, Mariposa Junction is, I guess they're going to kick off next week after our event, the official one, and try to get, because that was actually an event where the community came together and vendors came together, and they had a lot of holistic stuff out there, as well as fragrances, candles, stuff that people in Altadena like to get and put in their homes. Everybody loves a good candle. Everybody loves a good fragrance. So it's a needed thing for the community. And Joey used to have me fly my drone over and get shots and take pictures. And I was actually supposed to put together a sizzle reel for this year's upcoming season series of it. So yeah, all of these things touch a nerve with me when I think about them and going back and thinking about the footage that I gathered on hard drives that I did not collect. Like Alfred was saying, there's a lot of cameras and stuff that I lost, and it's better to not think about it, because every time you think about it, and I can't help but think about it, because every time I get ready to reach for something that I know I have, it's gone. It's not there. And I mean, Jamal, I do this to you all the time. Hey man, no, I don't. I can laugh about it now, but before I couldn't laugh about it. So,
there was stuff I would use from, I would borrow from you that I knew that you had access to, and I had to catch myself from even asking about it, because it's like in my mind before I even said it, be like, oh damn it, he don't have it anymore. It's all gone, and it's
what it is.
Yeah, and I'm sure everybody goes through something similar. Who lost, all their stuff in the home. I know I talk to Marcus about it all the time, and I'm amazed, not amazed. I'm proud and of the resilience of the folks in Altadena, and how they're just continuing on, pushing on. Not that they really had an option, but they're just kind of doing it with a spirit of positivity and knowing that things are going to be okay, kind of like what Alfred had said. It's tough. There's a lot of steps in between. It's not going to happen quickly, but it seems like folks are actually just trudging ahead and keeping a positive attitude and knowing things are going to be okay.
Well, what I am most concerned with, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people who are dealing with this in their family, is the people going through dementia and Alzheimer's, and their only solace was really to be in their environment that they've been in all their life. And now they're being moved around. You got an Airbnb over here. You got this foreign apartment. I'm not used to just going outside to my backyard, going to the garden and remembering the azaleas that I planted, or the petunias or whatever. I'm dead serious. Scents trigger memories. Sound triggers memories.
Absolutely.
Seeing something triggers memories. I mean, I'm always hitting you up with, oh man, that song took me back to when I was talking to this person, and we went over here and we were over at Lucky Boys, and I saw this fight break out, and that was the song that was on my mind that triggered all of that,
Oh yeah.
So it's just, I drive up in Altadena all the time, and I imagine as I'm driving by certain spots that all of the people are there. All of the houses are there, because I remember where everything was. I passed these places so many times and looked at them. I'm a nosy driver, especially when I'm driving down Altadena Drive. I like to look at the big houses, like the Andrew McNally house that's right there across the street from the library that burned down. And I look up the history of these places and didn't realize that the man who created the Thomas Guide was living in our town. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a lot of stuff that you have to deal with. So it's just crazy. I'm just really, really mad that this happened, but I'm really glad that it happened because I got to meet Alfred. I got to meet a lot of other people I've never even seen before. I mean, I've seen them around when I was doing events, but I didn't really get to talk to them.
Sure.
You know, I didn't really speak to a lot of people. I'm very outgoing, but sometimes my personality is overwhelming to some. So it's kind of, now it doesn't matter what my personality is. People are just happy to be talking to somebody. I was going to Vegas in April, and I had Toni stickers on my car.
Mm-hmm.
And I stopped at that gas station right where the 14 and the 58 meet.
Mm-hmm.
And this lady walks in and goes, "You're from Altadena, aren't you?" And I go, "Well, how'd you know?" I said, "You got those stickers on there." It said, "I wish I could find one." I took one off and I said, "Here, take that one." Because if you notice that I was from Altadena, that means you're from Altadena. And she told me, yeah, she used to live and everything. And we talked for like 20 minutes and we both needed to get to where we were going.
Yeah.
But it's just, yeah, Jake. And Jake and I used to talk a lot. Jake, you know, he's just a good guy, just for the community. And, you know, always allow people to use this space for videos, for gatherings. Anthony, the wing dude used to be up there. Pizza dude used to be up there. You know, Black Crust Pizza. In fact, I think the last video that I took was of Black Crust Pizza. And the guy, he actually, I did a video, he tagged me on it. And I think it got 3,500 views. And then after that, this is what happened. So it was good to see Black Crust Pizza at the homecoming fair.
Yeah.
And that pizza, I'm going to tell you right now, AD, that pizza was banging.
Delicious. I could have had a whole one by myself.
Man, it was hard to share.
Well, when you said you're going to share, I was like, oh, really? Okay, cool.
Nah, man, we both was working
argue.
hard that day, dude. We didn't even really get to. Did you get to eat something? I didn't eat. I didn't eat that. Did you get to eat something that day at the fair?
I could have, but I didn't. I wasn't that hungry. I think I had eaten right before I came out there. But it was cool. Well,
that night, it was good. Man, pizza in the dark. And of course, we sat way Courtney and Tracy because we wasn't giving you none. Sorry. We wasn't giving you anything. We weren't sharing that day.
Nah.
But yeah, Jake, let us know when you're going to do another pop-up, man. I couldn't make the last one because it was raining. And for the first weekend in almost 8-9 months, I took a weekend off because my body, my mind, my soul, my spirit was tired. And I just couldn't do it anymore. So forgive me, Altadena residents. I didn't go to certain events, but we will be updating the website. It's going to be an extravagant event on Saturday. I can't wait. We're going to be going live. Just to let you guys know, if you did not register, do not bother showing up because you will not be allowed in.
Unless you want to volunteer.
If you want to volunteer, but you got to volunteer. You can't just be up in there pretending. Because it's going to show.
Shoot. Toni will be there. She's going to make sure that ain't going to happen.
Oh, yeah. You're going to be put on something. So... definitely do need volunteers.
That link too for that.
I actually just emailed that to Tracy. I'll have to find it again. We'll mention it tomorrow. I mean, yeah. So great show, Alfred. Thank you for coming on. I love the Sweden picks. I had to jump off because. I had to take over an emergency when I was step and repeat. Didn't look like it was going to get approved. So, yeah, we need to get Joey Galloway up on the show so that he can talk about some things.
No doubt.
You know, I'm going to have to reach out to him soon. But
we got to focus a lot more on the businesses, give them a little bit more attention, some more love. In fact, maybe we can bring on a couple of the builders that do commercial, in particular, like the Lady Builder. That if we can focus maybe on, the commercial side, that might be pretty helpful.
Yeah. Trying to schedule an event that I was in the middle of doing.
All right, I'm just trying to get these comments up as well.
Yeah, so I'm glad that Instagram is back. We were having some technical difficulties for about a week.
A week, yeah.
Yeah. They updated their what do you call that? Platform. And it was glitchy at first, and we lost a week on Instagram, but we're back. We won't be going anywhere, so I'm happy about that. I like the format, and I'm actually we gotta fix our backgrounds for Instagram so that they actually look better. But tell us what you guys think about this new look on Instagram. I know that if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, it's not going to be any different. But
yeah, those look the same. What the only thing we got to do is make sure we let our guests know that they got to center themselves. A couple times I looked, and Alfred, at least for Instagram, was kind of like this.
I think the reason why he was like that because he was showing the artwork behind him.
Oh, I believe it. No, I know for sure. And it was perfect for the landscape view, but with portrait, he was half off. But I'm saying is we just got to remind the guests to kind of stay centered, because if they're center frame on the big one, they'll be center on the smaller one. So
sort of like the CNN look.
Mm-hmm. So we give the shout out to some folks who joined. Sean Smith, 18. Thank you
for
joining.
Smith.
Yeah, the tough one.
Sean, I do watch those videos that you do for your real estate.
Yeah, me too.
Give me a call, brother.
Shout out. We might be trying to link up this weekend too. I'll let you know.
Really?
Fellas, like when we went to
what day?
Rocco's Sunday.
Oh,
not Saturday. Yeah.
I was gonna say that.
Renee Cardona 5 joined. Some dude, Brian Backus Brands joined.
Oh, did I?
EJ John 10. Thank you. Chuck Irmo joined. Yeah, thank you.
Chuck is in love.
What is it? Marty is Leo. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I know who it is. Thank you for joining.
Two Dragons joined.
KDI huh? Oh yeah, Twin Dragons. Yeah. So that's on that side. So it was Altadena. What is that? CLT working group joined. The Classic Ass joined over there. Jake, of course, joined. Two Dragons Martial Arts joined.
I think that's the Land Trust CLT.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Altadena Village joined.
It takes a village, Altadena.
Indeed.
Yeah, a lot of people over there you seeing. Dang.
Tennis Salma joined. Looks like Kyrie joined. Sam Gray joined. This might be my nephew, man. What's up, Sam? Glad you joined. Living with Lasky 247. Brother Lasky.
Brother
Lasky.
How you doing, sir?
Yeah, that was a really cool.
We watch your little funny stuff too, there, bro.
Hey, I don't know how you don't laugh at some of those. I know you intensely.
He laughed. Now I'm gonna tell you the secret. He laughs when he first watched it, and then he films himself knowing that he can hold it.
That's what I would have
to do. Some of them
you can't do that.
You can't do that. I can send you some. I can send you some that I guarantee you're not gonna have a straight face. Trust me.
Yeah, I watched some. I have myself cracking up.
Oh, some I watched 50 times because I need that laughter.
That's right. I don't know why you're so low. It's weird.
Maybe it's because it's broadcasting. Can you turn me up? I don't know.
I just did. I had done it earlier, but somehow it went back down. Who knows?
Ghost in the machine.
But everybody, thank you for tuning in to episode 220 of Altadena Talks today. For those who are new, this is the Toni Talks segment. Tuesdays and Thursdays, excuse me, are generally when she actually has guests on. She interviews them, and she had to leave a little early, so she did say toodles. I guess we're almost at 2 hours, so it's not really early, but she left a little earlier. So thank you very much for tuning in. Tomorrow is our Wellness Wednesdays. We'll have a cool topic to talk about in terms of helping out with our health. And if you have any ideas or anything you'd like to talk about, please let us know, either in the comments or shoot us an email. You can send it at altadenatalks@gmail.com. That's pretty easy for most folks to remember. But we love to engage with you guys and have it to be kind of a show that you guys actually contribute to as well, because we like to put on things that you want to hear.
Also, we will reach 250 episodes the day before New Year's Eve.
Oh wow!
I am very proud to be able to make that announcement, because
That's pretty cool.
I didn't even think whether we would go this far, to be honest. But well, you know what it is, man? I have a reason to wake up now. I got a reason to get up. I got people waiting on me to hear stuff from us, the crew. And I don't think none of us would be able to do this by ourselves. Yes, we did mention that. And we have a special thing that we're going to do. We just need to get in touch with Two Dragons, Jake.
Yeah, we got
to find because we got something that we really trying to push. I know that they have to have a certain amount of money before the 25th in order to, and that's next Tuesday. So we got something special planned. I can't say anything about it right now, but just know that I've always cared about those kids. I watch them every day sitting across the street at the rancho, as did you, Jake, at your smoke shop. And I was glad to see that kids had some place to go and was learning some sort of martial art and learning how to, subdue their emotions and anger. And, she taught more than just martial arts. She taught how to live. And I used to always see her every day and wave to her. And, some moms would drop their kids off there and go right up to the little waxing place that was right next door to it. So I observed all of that. So
have my
you had
family had to go
I
there.
I saw you there a couple times picking somebody.
Wifey goes, the girls, the daughters go, the sister-in-laws go. Everybody went up there to see Helen.
Right, Helen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, we need to bring all that back. I mean, these people, that's what makes Altadena who, what it is. It's the people. It's not the structures. Yes, we're going to miss the structures, but guess what? You have the opportunity now to build bigger and better structures, more resistant to, elements and stuff like that. And I can't wait. Jake, I can't wait to go up there and smoke a doobie with you. Cigar, that is. Cigar. Really, not doing any. No, I call them doobies because they big. They look like, it reminds me of the joint that Cheech and Chong rolled in the car, and it was it looked like toilet paper rolls.
Get you high for a year.
Kill the seals. Oh, honey, save the whales. And then save your breath. That was just like slapstick comedy, man. It's just funny. So thank you all for being on. We've reached a plateau, 2 hours. We don't normally go that long.
Yeah, it's been a while since we went this late.
Yeah. We've been trying to keep it structured, because going into next year, it's going to be a little more scheduled, a little more structured. We're going to try to keep the news. The whole reason why we started is just to inform people about where to go get stuff or where to go find resources. And we've never strayed away from that. The addition of Toni early on, and trust me, the show was going 7 days and then Toni joined. So it wasn't like it took her a month, because I begged her.
It was really early.
It was really instant. So it's not like she wasn't
where
part
we
of
got
the,
all our info. Well, the bulk of our information from.
Yeah, we were just stealing. I would just share and just say, check this out. I wouldn't even say anything extra. I would just say, look at this. Because I was tired. I was tired of looking for stuff. And she had all the information. And so the treacherous 3 was born.
Get back, Jake.
So it's all good. Oh, and Jake, you know, I was over there with Marco the other day taking pictures of the murals on the ground, and they actually didn't burn up. And I asked them, you gonna repaint those? I mean, I might have to help you fund that because I want that back. That's a legacy right there. So that's how we do things. You already know me, dude. You already know me. Mm-hmm. So, all right. Well, you know what? I am starving, and I didn't bring any food today because I got home at 3:00 in the morning, and you saw what I told you this morning. I was just leaving the house at 9:00. I was shocked I got here at 10.
Oh yeah, you were flying.
Well, everybody was. That's the funny thing. The floor of traffic was like 95. Because I think everybody's just trying to get away from all the trucks.
Like, it's not raining. Let's get out there. He says it's going to stay.
Oh, I'm sure it is. That's a legacy right there. That's what withstood the thing. That
you used to paint the buildings with whatever material is used for that.
I think we're going to have to go get Marco a grant from Sherwin-Williams or something, wherever he got that paint from, to show that bad boy did not get burnt up.
Exactly.
And they can give him paint to paint it for free. And that's why I need to talk to him next time. I saw him at the library during the vintage camera event. And it was so shocking to see all kinds of people walk up to me. Hey, you're that guy. That was funny, though. I mean, I'm glad that people recognize that the show is doing well, and that they keep tuning in. But please, a lot of neighbors don't know. And if you have any elderly folks that you know, that you've been friends with or even had conversations with, turn them on to the show. They can watch it on their smart TV on YouTube. That's where we look at it when we're testing what it looks like, the aesthetics, to make sure that nothing's looking all grainy and pixelated and all of that stuff. So we try to give you guys the best quality we can. I never thought for a moment that I would be in front of the camera this much. I'm used to, well, yeah, exactly. I know you did. I'm used to doing other people's podcasts, which has opened up the door for other places to use this show as a prototype in case they have a disaster that they happen to go through. And I'm open for consultation. So if you're in a disaster situation and you've seen this show, and call us, we will help you get started. Trust me, everybody needs something like this in their town after a disaster. Yep. And we plan on being here for some years. So it's not just like this is a fad and we're going away, we're trending.
Nah, we're in it for the long haul. We're definitely in it for the long haul.
This is our life right now.
And one thing you mentioned, for those who are going to watch past episodes, in particular on YouTube, Brian has set up a playlist in particular right now for just builders, but we can also probably set up a playlist of just the folks who have come on, because we've had some folks who talk about mental health and physical health as well. So we can kind of put them in categories that'll be helpful.
Yeah, well, I playlist categories, wellness, and events
some of them
that
are
we
goofy.
went to.
Some of them we don't really talk about.
Those I won't put in the playlist.
Yeah, you can watch it by all means, but we won't make a playlist out of those just in case you're really trying to get some content. But we always, though, 99.9% or not 0.8% of the time, we're going to do the announcements, which is as Brian had said, which is the main focus. So even if I have to record them, if I'm not going to be here, or if we do it, either early or late like we did today, we're going to make sure we get those in, because we feel that
Jamal
part
does
is very important.
Altadena Talks After Dark.
For those
he has this sultry, he has this like Theo voice from 92.3 to be, okay, so today we're going to be up in Altadena.
That was one time. And for those that don't know what he's referencing in terms of Altadena Talks After Dark, The one time I wasn't going to be able to be on the show, so I was like, hey, I'm going to record this. I was actually on vacation, and I was in a hotel room, and I was going to record it. My wife was asleep, so I'm trying to record it all quiet. Yeah, this is this, that, and the other, and it's going to be over here at Sunday at 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. and blah, blah, blah. And they were cracking up. I didn't realize what it sounded like.
By the way, we out here. Market.
Thank goodness I didn't have the video and I wasn't doing that. That looks like
I know, it would have been
polls.
No, you know what it reminds me of?
What?
Jack Palance. Believe it or not.
Maybe I will do one of those just as a parody on me.
Now get you one of them Clarence Williams III wig and be like,
Yeah.
oh, you went to Ish. You knee deep in the
You're gonna
Ish.
be knee deep in the Ish. Oh, you want the Ish? I love that episode or that scene. I don't know. But anyway.
Funny. Yeah,
Right,
it's always
everybody.
nice to see thugs getting the just due when they try to rob somebody.
That one dude, when he realized he was the devil, he was like,
No,
oh my
right.
gosh. I'm gonna have to watch that, just that scene again. When we finish. All right. Well, I think after 2 hours and 10 minutes, like the 2:10 behind me, well, it's 2:11 now. We'll probably end this show.
We'll
Thank
probably
you
end it.
so much. Well, I'm ready to hit the button. You know, sometimes stuff happens. But anyway, yeah, we'll go ahead and end the show now and say everybody have a great Tuesday. Tune in tomorrow. We appreciate you, and we'll check you out then. Peace.
Peace.